How's it going, Ice? Did it seem just too perfect to be laid out that you're up there with a chance to win the game again, and then just take us through the app?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy that, pretty much an exact situation with Brady on second, Wes on first. I don't think it could have been drawn up any better. But I mean, I got to give a shout out to those guys because, I mean, if they didn't get on, then I wouldn't have had that opportunity. As far as the at bat, I mean, he'd been throwing a lot of changeups and sliders, a lot of off speed, and he came out firing with the fastball a little up and away, and then he threw about pretty much the same pitch, but it was in the strike zone, and the ball looked pretty flumsuous, and put a good swing on it and made some hard contact.
Tom.
Glad to see you work that one in there, Andrew. You have a lot to follow. Will was pretty good post game too. I guess what was the emotion like? Obviously, coming back, this is I think your third season in Columbia, to have 2 walk-off hits against a rival. What is that emotion like now that you're able to sit down and reflect on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's so much, and like I said yesterday, it means more to me, the longer I've been here and the more I've gotten to realize, what this rivalry means to everyone, all the former players, current players, fans, alumni. It means so much to so many people, and to be able to help the team and help us win those first 2 games and clinch the series, and it means a lot. And yeah, like I said, just so many people are watching, and I'm glad we could make a lot of people's day.
Michael.
Andrew, Will was just talking about how Miley Cyrus kind of inspired him today. And I know you walk up to Cold as Ice, which is a great choice, by the way. I know it kind of rhymes with Eyster a little bit, but I'm just kind of curious, did that give you any inspiration at all? Or just how do you maintain just your composure in those really tough moments and be cold as ice in those moments?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult. And honestly, yesterday was probably the first time that I had been in a situation like that, and in a long time, as long as I can remember. And I definitely felt it yesterday, but I think yesterday helped me kind of calm the nerves today, and it definitely helped me out, and I think that played a big part of it.
And just looking at, the dugout and you guys, I mean, it seems like you guys are having a lot of fun. I saw you were holding that Reaper thing at the end of the game. Could you talk about that a little bit and just like what?
Yeah, I mean, that's all of Wes Clark and Brady Allen's design. Like he said, they rolled up with those and during Halloween and brought it out to the field. And I think it's a cool idea. It's kind of like the Miami turnover chain. I guess the Carolina baseball. I don't know what you call it, a staff or whatever you guys are saying. I don't know what it's called. Scythe. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, like I said, like you were saying, I mean, it adds some fun to the game, and I mean, the game can be a lot of pressure, and I know that personally. It can bring a lot of pressure and anxiety, and whatever you can do to make it more fun and calm the nerves, it helps out tremendously.
Yep.
Andrew, I say this not insinuating that you lack any confidence, but how does a weekend like this boost your confidence in your abilities at the plate for you?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a big difference because it's coming into SEC play in 2 weeks. Clemson is a team that could be right there with anyone in the SEC, and to have a good weekend like this, and for us as a team to play like we did, it's a good sign. I think we got Mercer next weekend, but coming up in 2 weeks, or excuse me, not SEC play in 2 weeks. We got Texas in 2 weeks. But like I said, same thing with them though. I mean, it's going to be the same deal, and I think we played well, and we showed some resiliency, and I think that's important, going into Texas and SEC play. And that's going to be something that we're going to need to continue to show.
Tom?
Andrew, I think Brady has Soul Reaper and Wes is 2 blocks. Do you have a cool nickname on that?
I don't have a nickname that's that cool. I mean, as most people just call me Ice or something like that, but nothing like Soul Reaper.
What do you think you have to do to get back?
I don't know. Maybe you guys could come up with something.
We'll get on it.
All right.
I guess you guys obviously go and fall behind for the first time this season. What does it say about this group to where even in the late innings when you guys are trailing, you're still able to pull out a win, especially in a stakes game like this one?
Yeah, I think just it says a lot about our maturity. There wasn't any negative energy. I wasn't getting the vibe that people were down and we thought we were going to lose. Like, I mean, we knew we were in it the whole game, and we knew we were going to come back, and that's kind of the confidence that we need to have, and everyone had that air of confidence, and that's something that I think is important in a successful team, is to have that.